furthest. Oh.
It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good afternoon, folks. That sounded like that was breaking up. I hope we're getting a signal. We've had a wonky signal all day today, and now things are beeping at me, but the timer's going, so I'm hoping that was just broken up for me. Anyway, welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News podcast, coming to you on this, the 15th day of January, brought to you by Will US and her Scoot Around and by chilliescruises, live en route to Le Havre, France, with special guest cruise director Richard Maddock. We'll have him on here in just a couple minutes. We do have a couple of announcements to make and a couple news items to get to before the show's over with today. The headlines today: Liberty of the Seas guards fishing vessel, Holland America and Wheel of Fortune. Also today, Virgin offers annual $199,000 pass. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Trying to get hot air time to get off his checkbook. Immigration inspection with the Brits. Royal Caribbean captain retires after 50 years. Vision of the Seas delayed. And also Princess partners with Country Music Academy. And lots more here live at 11 a.m. this morning. Folks, I don't have a national day. Sorry. It just didn't come through. And I have no idea what it is today. So we're going to skip that today. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. If you're listening via the podcast and never want to jump over to the video feed, all you have to do is just look at the description of the podcast, and there's always a link there so you can do just that. All right, so special hello goes out today. I just found out just a couple hours ago. A couple of my mates from back in the school days, Alexander and Heather Clary from back home, have been watching my exploits. Enjoyed the podcast. Are catching me on the Facebook pop-up lives, and they sent me a message. So, hi to you guys. Glad to have you on board. So I didn't realize that they were paying any attention to my silliness. Anyway, we do have two announcements that are sort of newsy, but I'm not counting them as news. You remember our buddy Janine Williamson? You know, she's that damn travel writer that she's been on this show about 15 times. Guess what? She is now godmother of Viva Cruises' beautiful new ship, the Viva Enjoy. And I think that's awesome. You know, she's been called the River Cruise Queen for years because she's gotten on all of them and written articles literally around the world on river cruising. I'm trying to figure out a way that I can take credit for this. You know, since she's been on my show about 11 times, you know, I'm trying to figure out how I can, you know, take some credit for it, but I just don't think it's going to work. Anyway, congratulations to Janine. I'm just thrilled to death for her. I don't remember ever seeing a travel writer bestowed that kind of honor. And I think that's just awesome. And how often do you get to say Janine Williamson and Sophie Loren in the same sentence? That's pretty cool. All right. There was a news report yesterday, and folks, I got to poo-poo this one. And it was just totally not true. There was this report that there was an earthquake in Virginia, near Richmond. You know, that's where Hot Air Tom lives. Well, the truth of the matter, it wasn't an earthquake. Cindy thought the furnace was going to blow up from where Hot Air Tom hadn't got it inspected before he left. And she was rumbling through the house, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. And it registered 2.8 on the Richter scale. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, thankfully, the earthquake wasn't any more serious than that. But Cindy did say she felt it. And I don't know if any of you have ever been through an earthquake in our part of the world. It feels like you're running over rumble strips. Hot Air Tom wants to say something.
You haven't had video for a while. The sound is okay. So maybe when you go to a clip, it'll kick back in. I don't know.
Huh. Well, let's see. He says the sound's okay, but no. Let's try that. Let's see. See if that came back on. For some reason, the picture was totally out and I wasn't where I could see that. Is it back now? Yes, it's back now. I see it on your computer. Wow. Sorry about that, guys. Well, you didn't need to hear that. It's just me running my mouth. So, speaking of running my mouth, I'm going to do a lot more of it here in a bit. But first, we do have a special guest.
My special guest this morning is Richard Maddock, who's a talented, flamboyant cruise director of the Norwegian Bliss. Richard, welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast. Have you with us?
Thank you, Chillie. It is my pleasure to be part of your YouTube channel. We're very honored, and we hope that you're enjoying your cruise vacation on board the Bliss.
Oh, absolutely. Always do. I love cruising. So, all right, got a couple questions for you.
Go ahead.
As a cruise director, do you have any say-so in the acts, the shows that you promote for a cruise?
That's correct. You know, we do have a little pull with regards to the entertainment. However, we do have a certain department in our head office in Miami is also responsible for, recruiting our talents on board. So we do request what talents we would like, and hopefully, our shoreside partner will be able to send us what we need. But most of the times, we get them here on board our ships.
It certainly would make your job a whole lot easier.
Definitely.
To have especially shows like you have on this ship. They're wonderful.
Thank you so much, and we hope you enjoy the big Broadway shows that we have offered. Yes. And make sure you come back because we have new shows coming here on the Bliss as well.
Okay. Now, you're from the Philippines originally. How did you get from the Philippines to a cruise ship cruise director? And I know you've been on a bunch of different ships.
Right. So, I studied the hotel and restaurant management back home in the Philippines. So I have the hospitality background and also worked in some of the hotels in the Philippines. And then I applied, for a cruise ship position, and they offered me, the cruise department position. So as an entry-level position, and then over the years, then I was able to grow. And then, of course, I learned how to actually take care and lead the entertainment. So now, of 22 years in Norwegian Cruise Line, I was able to move up, from the entry-level position to the ones leading our entertainment team.
How many members do you have on the team currently on the Bliss?
That's a good question. I have 165 team members working from the entertainers to the production team, the technical team, youth staff taking care of the youth program, cruise director staff taking care of the parties and game shows, and also we do have recreation team as well taking care of the recreation facilities around the ship.
Yeah. So you're one of your hats is obviously a manager of people
Correct.
as well.
Yes, yes.
Do you do that as well as you do promoting things? You're just such a gifted, wonderful, exciting promoter of everything you do on the ship.
That's right, but we do have, like a wonderful team of leaders in our department. We have supervisors and managers that are also, guide in our department. So this is a one team, with one goal to make sure that we have the best entertainment for you. So teamwork, really works for us, definitely.
As a experienced cruise director, what is the thing you like most about your job?
Oh, I like the challenges, because if, let's say, for example, we will not be able to present the show because of technical difficulties, my creativity together with my team must be able to be in place so that we can provide a different show right at the moment. So I like the challenges, of course, of being a cruise director when you are in a position wherein you're not in your comfort zone. But of course, what I do love is, of course, to provide entertainment that the guest likes, and I will receive the response from the guests that they do like the entertainment. So that's our achievement, to hear that the guests are enjoying the program on board.
And probably the tougher question to follow that.
What is it?
What's the thing you like the least about your job?
Ooh, that is an interesting question. Maybe the list that I would is when an entertainer will not be able to arrive, at the start of the cruise, because we had those moments before that, we were expecting the entertainer to come to perform. However, due to certain reasons, flight delays maybe, then we really have to redo the program again for the entire cruise, and that takes time to really put together entertainment for each night of the vessel of the cruise.
So what's ahead for Richard? How much longer are you going to be on the Bliss?
Oh my goodness, I know that you're going to ask me that. I've been with the company for 22 years, and for sure, over these years, I've seen places, I've met so many people like you, Chillie, you treated us great, and thank you so much for that. So maybe, what I do is just like, I take it one day at a time. I'm not really looking forward for, let's say, I want to do 10 more years with Norwegian Cruise Line, or 10 more years in the industry. So it's for 22 years, it's, I've done a lot already and seen a lot as well. So I cannot really tell how much more, but I'm still enjoying my job, and that's because our guests, tells us the response about the entertainment. So that gives me the boost to continue, I guess, to keep coming back for another contract.
Yeah, that's awesome. When's your next break?
Oh, my next break is going to be in 2 months.
Okay.
I'll see my family back home. So I do work for 4 and then 2 months vacation. So not bad at all.
Yeah, it's not a bad schedule.
Yeah.
All right, Richard, thank you so much for being with us here on the Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you.
All right, that was Richard Maddock. He's a flamboyant, and I said it in the intro. No, I said it in one of the promotional things. Very Liberace-esque cruise director, and I say that even though Richard was dressed in what I call his civvies. Normally, he's in sparkly suits of every color in the world. Like this was night before last, I think it was his gold outfit. Then he has, matching pants and jackets, and blue and purple and green, and he cuts quite a path. The other thing, he's so accessible. Many of the cruise directors, that I've either worked with or been around, don't give you the time of day. Richard's not like that. So It's been good to meet him, good to be around him, and goodness, I've enjoyed his department as much on this cruise as any cruise I've ever been on. So thank you for that, Richard, and thank you for your time. All right, I'll be back with today's news after a quick break from one of our fine network sponsors. All right, so the news today, folks, is going to start with Liberty of the Seas and might have a surprise ending for you. Liberty of the Seas was sailing in the Atlantic Ocean near Florida on January the 9th when it came across a stranded fishing boat with 15 passengers. The boat reportedly issued distress signals and used flares to get the attention of nearby vessels. Unable to directly assist because of rough seas, crew members aboard Liberty of the Seas notified the Coast Guard and stood guard while the smaller boat awaited rescue. Passengers were successfully removed to the U.S. Coast Guard's rescue craft, while one was airlifted into the Coast Guard's helicopter. The distressed boat was approximately 36 miles northeast of Boca Raton when it experienced engine failure. Now, folks, the reason I'm using this story as the top story of the day is the headline, Liberty of the Seas guards fishing vessel. Implies something untoward that was happening or something illegal, or, Liberty became cops at the sea. Yeah, that's not the case at all. But that's how people use a story and blow it out of proportion just to get people to listen to them. I'm sorry. This was a rescue mission. They couldn't take the people on the boat like normal because the seas were rough. So they had to sit there and wait so the craft didn't sink until the Coast Guard got there. Nothing bad, nothing salacious. It's just a good rescue story. All right, just a little rant this morning. Holland America Line is kicking off the new year with a newly designated cruise week running this week through the 17th. The highlight of Cruise Week will be a week-long sponsorship with Wheel of Fortune, America's longest-running syndicated game show. While the beloved television show has featured cruise giveaways, this is the first time a single cruise line will be featured throughout the entire week. Also, part of Cruise Week is the addition of a $25 deposit to Wave Season. Start your journey sale, which already features exceptional savings from Holland America Line's Global Cruise. Airing from January 13th through the 17th, the Wheel of Fortune episodes feature a different destination each day as a nod to the regions that Holland America Line explores. I wonder if Vanna White's going to be on the cruises. That would be pretty cool.
Introducing the Model R four-wheel urban mobility scooter. Introducing the Model R four-wheel urban mobility scooter. With a small turning radius and rotating front wheels. Wheel allows you to effortlessly maneuver in tight spaces. The four-wheel will.
Virgin Voyages announced its 2026 annual pass, offering year-round access to any ship in its fleet, along with a one-week stay on Necker Island, Richard Branson's private island retreat. Following the launch of a 2025 annual pass, the company unveiled the 2026 version ahead of schedule to allow travelers more time to plan. Richard Branson went on Good Morning America to talk about the annual pass, discovered there was so much excitement and buzz. Priced at, get this folks, $199,000. The annual pass 2026 benefits include not only access to all the ships all the time, a 1-week stay on Necker Island, a private 74-acre retreat in the British Virgin Isles, round-trip business class flights and ferry transfers from the continental U.S. to Necker Island, daily access to on-demand Moet champagne delivery, Virgin Voyage's signature yellow leaf hammock, birthday upgrade to star quarters suite, $10,000 shopping credit for high street shops, 4 privately hosted shore things annually, up to 10 cabana reservations per year at the beach in Bimini Island, and personalized rock star robes. The 2026 annual pass allows access to sail aboard Virgin Voyage's new Brilliant Lady, set to debut in Alaska from Seattle in May of 2026. Passes are available on a first come, first served basis, folks. So you want to get in line and get them quickly. They're valid for 1 year, starting on January 1st, February 1st, March 1st, or April 1st, depending on the selected start date. Bookings must be made by March 31st, 2026. Travel advisors like me who sell the annual pass will receive a flat rate of $10,000. So, folks, call me. I'd love to sell you one. We were notified yesterday the guests currently on board the Norwegian Bliss enjoying the ship's transatlantic sailing have been mandated to do a face-to-face immigration inspection, today, as a matter of fact. As per the United Kingdom immigration regulations, please be advised that there will be an overseas en route clearance requiring a mandatory face-to-face immigration inspection. That's what's said in the letter. All guests must present themselves regardless of the nationality and age as we are entering the United Kingdom. This means that even UK citizens returning home on board a ship's 13-night sailing are required to present the proper documentation to immigration officials in person for the inspection. Guests will need their ship card, original passport, and visa if needed, depending on their nationality. The inspection will take place on board Norwegian Bliss during the day today. As a matter of fact, it's going on now. The last sea day of the ship's voyage. The call to Le Havre in France, or in Paris rather, tomorrow, should not be impacted, and the Bliss should arrive in Southampton as planned on Friday. The immigration inspection will take place in the Manhattan restaurant on Deck 7. And hopefully, folks, by the time that this show airs, we will have been through our inspection, and I'll be able to pop in at the end here and say, okay, here's what happened. But until then, we're just looking at the order that we've got to do it. All right, we have just come back from the face-to-face. It went way smoother than we expected. Hats off to the Norwegian people and to the British folks. From the time we left the cabin, and remember, folks, I'm on a wheelchair and had to go wait for an elevator and wait to get back on an elevator to come back upstairs. We were gone from the cabin like 20 minutes. And that included getting in the line, and then they had the zigzag back and forth as you got in there, but it was really steady. They had 5 or 6 agents. I didn't even count them. Sitting across the table. I was not what I expected. I thought they'd have, like a facial recognition kind of thing. But no, they wanted to see your passport. And I showed them ETA. And I asked a couple questions. They said, how long are you going to be staying in England? And I told her, she says, what are you going to be doing? And I said, I'm planning on riding a Bronco bull in a rodeo. And she looked at me and I said, I'm kidding. So I did tell her the truth. So anyway, it just went slick, slick, click, and done. Not bad at all. Well done, y'all.
Experience Alaska at an affordable rate. VR1 balconies are only $1,289, including taxes and port charges. MSC Poesia sails from Seattle, May 25th, 2026. Book now. Call 434-258-9264 or go to bit.ly/Poesia Alaska 1.
Royal Caribbean Captain Johnny Faivlin is embarking on his next journey, one that will keep him closer to home. His new role will be full-time as a husband, father, and grandfather. Faivlin retires after a remarkable 50-year career with Royal Caribbean, culminating as captain of Symphony of the Seas. An undisclosed medical emergency that took place on board Royal Caribbean's Vision of the Seas has delayed the ship's current voyage and forces the cruise line to start its subsequent cruise. In a letter with guests preparing for the ship's January 16th upcoming 8-night Southeast Coast and Bahamas itinerary from Baltimore, Royal Caribbean said it experienced a medical emergency on the current 12-night Southern Caribbean sailing. A passenger aboard the vessel, which had originally departed from Baltimore on January the 4th, said that as Vision of the Seas was at sea and heading home on January 13th, call in St. Kitts when the captain announced the emergency. The ship turned around and headed back toward Puerto for an emergency airlift of the passenger. Coast Guard deemed the airlift was not a viable option, and Vision of the Seas headed to dock in San Juan. The affected passenger was successfully transferred to a hospital, and the ship immediately resumed time, thus the day late leaving of the following cruise. Princess Cruises announced a partnership with the Academy of Country Music. Yeehaw! And plans to launch ACM Live from Red Barrel Lounge concert series in early 2025. The collaboration will bring intimate live performances from rising country music artists on the Regal Princess from Galveston between February the 9th and March the 17th of 2025. The series will feature performances by 6 emergency artists you've probably never heard of. From February 9th to the 17th, Drew Baldridge, known for his breakout single Dance with Ya and a viral success of She's Somebody's Daughter. From February 17th to the 23rd, you've got Chapel Heart. The trio gained prominence with their bold response to Dolly Parton's classic, You Can Have Him, Jolene. February 23rd to March the 3rd, Hannah Ellis, a Kentucky native, and her debut album, That Girl. From March 3rd to the 9th, T. Gurley Gold, the sister duo, made history by winning the new duo or group of the year in 2024. Their single, I Try to Ring On, made him famous. March the 9th to the 17th, Kelsey Hart's hit Life with You has garnered 100 million streams. Wow. March 17th to the 23rd, Cameron Marlowe rising to prominence with his gold certified single, Giving You Up. Yeah, country on Princess. Awesome. This is an update on the MSC Grandiosa cruise sailing from Port Canaveral on February 14th, 2026, with stops in Nassau, Ocean Key Marine Reserve, and Puerto Plata. Inside cabins start at $643 per person. Solos start at $933. Just call me 434-258-9264 and join us on MSC Grandiosa. Wow, I cut the end off too. My apologies if you were having audio issues. My end was breaking up, but Tom seems his end was a little better. So I'm not sure how the stream went out. But if we had some audio issues, my apologies, guys. Like I said, it was wonky today. All right, that wraps up the news portion of today's show. So let's go see who's fussing at me over in the chat room. Who is with us today? I wasn't even able to look over there. There's one of our ex-folks, Hansley Sophia. Says, good, thank you very much. Bonnie's with us. She's up in Observation Lounge. She and Hot Air Tom just went and had a little bite of lunch. I said, again, Bonnie. Joanne's with us. Good morning, Joanne. There's Kenneth up in Pennsylvania. I hear you and see you. You look good. Thank you very much, Kenneth. Always good to have you here. There's Hot Air Tom. Says, hello, everyone. Bliss is located at the northeast corner of France in the Atlantic at the moment. Bonnie says, I hear you and see you. Thank you, Bonnie B. Cindy Lee at sea says, good morning to everybody. Hi, Cindy. Bonnie says, you've disappeared, Chillie. I can hear you, not see you. What did you say?
It should be northwest corner of France.
Oh, northwest corner of France, out there, Tom says. Joanne says, can hear you but not see you. That's what it had, Tom. Tom had too here in the cabin. He isn't pausing, so I can tell now. Sorry about that. Motor mouth today. Easy now. That's what I'm supposed to do. Deliver the news. If they can hear me, fine. They don't need to see me. Just a big fat. Never mind. I guess we will have to wait for the clips. Nothing we can really do. The internet must be weak now. Both video and mic are his. Both video and mic are his cell. Oh, so if the sound works, we know the hookup is connected. Yeah, that's sort of the truth. There's Katie. Says good morning or good afternoon or good evening to Chillie, Tom, and Bonnie. And Gary. Gary Alderdirt's with us too. Bonnie says, hi, Katie. Yep, you're back, Chillie. But then it wasn't, I kept dropping. And then when I'd switch stories,
Roger.
It was cutting a couple seconds off and a couple seconds off the back end. Oh, yeah, Roger's with us too. I'm not even thinking about Roger. So we've got a nice little group here on the ship. There's Bob up Tennessee. Hi, Bob. Happy hump day. Yes, it is sunny down in Mississippi. Says hello to everyone. Hi, Sonny. Richard minus the sequence. Yeah, that's what I call his civvies. So, which is fine. I mean, I wouldn't want to be dressed up like that all the time either. I really like him though. He's one of the better ones that I've seen. Maybe in the top couple. I mean, he's right up there with a couple real good carnival guys that I've been with that were just outstanding. but they weren't as accessible as Richard is. Richard's the most accessible cruise director I've ever seen. I mean, he is everywhere and will talk to you anytime. I mean, unless he has something specifically he's got to do, and he'll say, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. He goes and does it, and he comes back. So, yeah, good guy. There's Steve out in Kentucky. Says, good morning, Chillie and everybody. Cindy says, Richard's an awesome cruise director. I think so, too. Emily says, hello, everyone. I am. Angie, whatever floats your boat, says, hey, y'all. Angie, whatever floats your boat, says hi to M, too. There's Todd. Hey, Todd. Says, good morning to everybody. Joanne says, great interview. Thank you, Joanne. Appreciate that. Gracie is with us. I'm sorry to make a public comment, but this is the way to contact you because I'm fully aware that sending you a message without permission is disrespectful. Your post is very interesting, and I really want to be your friend. I wish you could send me a friend request. Yeah, no, that's a scam, folks. Number one, you can always send a friend request to anybody, and it's not disrespectful. Number two, then I have the choice of either accepting your friend request or not. So that's got to be some kind of a scam. Just saying, calling you out right here on World Wide Web. So Sonny says, Richard looks sharp dressed up. Yeah, he is. And they did this afternoon, they did a talent show put on by this crew. And I didn't stay the whole thing. Well, I'll tell you why. I made it for the first couple acts. One guy, Richard was running the show, of course, and he has on a red sequined jacket today. The first guy was singing had a good voice. I just didn't like the style of song that he sang. It just wasn't my thing. But I could tell he had some talent. The next guy was a magician who was outstanding. He's as good as the professional guys. And he was what he was. I don't remember what he's a bartender. He's a bartender and did 3 or 4 tricks, brought somebody up out of the audience. Humorous all the way through it. Very, very well done. Well, now in the meantime, I'm sitting in a wheelchair accessible area at the back of the theater because I hate to go through the tunnel and go down there on the front row and sitting in front of everybody in my wheelchair. I mean, let's face it, folks, I'm still a big fat guy. Sitting in front of 1,000 people, that's not my thing. So I just go to the back row, where we got the handicap thing. I made some friends back there. I'm in a chair now full time. And he and I sat back there and had 3 or 4 drinks during the shows. It's been terrific. But anyway, so today, when I got there, there was a guy sitting, there's Hot Air Tom hauling stuff out already. There was a guy sitting at the corner where the aisle goes down. So he had the first seat in the handicap little row. So I pulled in kind of in the middle, and it was, maybe 3 feet, 4 feet between us. And a couple of minutes later, somebody came in and went to the kind of the outside of the row, say 3 or 4 feet to my right. Okay. So there were 3 chairs sitting there with a space, that's not going to show here. Anyway, it's a space of about 3 or feet or so between us. And then as the show started, which was a few minutes later, because we got there early, as the show started, about 15 people stuffed into those two spaces for the wheelchair accessible folks, including one lady that was literally right up pushing on my shoulder that had the most atrocious perfume on that stunk to high heaven. And, you know, by the time the magician act was over, and I got all those people literally on top of me in a freaking wheelchair, I couldn't breathe. So I just turned the wheelchair on, tried to back into the lady with the perfume, but I think she got out of the way. Turned the chair around. I got the hell out of there. So I didn't get to see the rest of the show. So it doesn't happen very often, but sometimes people are just so totally unaware of anybody with a disability. I have no problem at all if I see somebody coming out of one of our handicaps that's not disabled. I'll call them out on the spot. Those restrooms are there for a purpose. It's for people like me that have to use it. Somebody that's ambulatory, if you're a man, go to the damn men's room. Don't take up a one whole facility, which is what the handicap restrooms are. You got one commode in there. Don't tie that up when you could be in the men's room that's got 8 urinals and 5 or 6 commodes. So, and then make me wait to get into the handicap restroom. I get livid. I got livid today. I wish I'd run over that woman's foot. Anyway, I didn't mean to rant about that. Sunday said, Richard looks sharp. I said that. Chillie, hey there. Emily says, hey to Bonnie. Todd says, I am really impressed with the audio and video you have considering the distance. Yeah, I haven't had any this is the first time I've had trouble on my end. And I think it's just this was a really funky Wi-Fi day. Emily says, hope you're having a relaxing cruise, Bonnie. Yeah, Bonnie says, I'm trying. Yeah, we don't relax. We stay busy, don't we, Bonnie? Yeah, Bonnie came to visit this afternoon. Good to have a guest up here in the hot air Tom suite. Speaking of that, I want you guys to see this, folks, because it's something that, I'm pretty tight. I have never had one of these before. Oh, it does. It's backwards on the thing, but that's the same thing. Yes, it is. It says priority. It's a priority luggage tag. That's because I'm with Hot Air Tom. Because, he's one of those big people. Ambassador Tom. But I get priority luggage. So I'll take it. I'm easy. I keep telling people I'm easy. Nobody believes that. Waiting for Chillie and Tom for Taste Dining Room. Yeah, we're going to meet at 6 our time, which is in 15 minutes. Bonnie is part of the observation lounge. Blocked off his. I'm so unhappy with that. There's several things I'm unhappy with. One, taking roughly, it's probably about a little more than a third of the observation lounge. And then taking the Mexican restaurant, Los Lobos, which was just outstanding. Oh, man, it was good.
Oh, Howard.
My hat off to the cruise director Very challenging, but a fun job.
I got a live YouTube background.
Sunny, big part is blocked off. Hot air time, by the way, has a call right now. Big part is blocked off. Very loud construction going on.
Yeah.
Emily says, is the lounge busy? It's been, every time I've been up there, it's been real busy.
Did I give you enough information to understand it?
The lounge is very busy. I couldn't stay up there to read. It's busy and loud. Yeah. I enjoyed it at the beginning of the cruise, like looking out at the sea while reading. When is the construction done? Well, it's a dry dock, Emily. They're going to dry dock for 3 weeks. So they're just getting some of it done ahead of time. What are you guys planned for Paris? I'm going to try to get to see the Eiffel Tower. Hot Air Tom's got a bunch of stuff planned, kind of. I'm just letting him do all that stuff. I'm going to go along as long as I'm going, but he's not going to, I mean, he's have to answer all. I don't remember the schedule, Kenneth, and he's on the phone. So one of his business calls. Emily, they be doing the construction during the dry dock, yes. There's Gretchen. Gretchen finally made it in. Hi, Gretchen.
I need to decide whether to give her a refund or what.
Bonnie says, I like Richard's co-cruise director. She's sweet and a perfect match for Richard. Yeah, she's a African-American lady that's got the biggest smile I believe I've ever seen in my life. She's just awesome. They do a show every morning on what's happening that day. So we always put it on the TV and check out what's going on. Kenneth saying hello to everybody.
That's probably what
Chillie, forward all that stuff to Tom's email. Yeah, I will do that. Chillie, I got the scam friend request from a comment I left on your Facebook Live. I reported her and blocked her. Very good. Yeah, that's the best thing to do when you get one of those things that you know's totally got to be kind of a scam.
Okay.
Report and delete. That's what I tell everybody. Just report it and delete it. Cindy says the girls played every game show I think they had on the Bliss. Well, there's plenty of that. And Roger is, I had no idea, but Roger is huge with the trivia stuff. I think his trivia team, which is, these are people that he just met on the cruise. I mean, they're doing this thing for the week of all the trivia contests or something. And they're like in 3rd or 4th place, which isn't bad for all the people, on this cruise. So Roger loves the trivia thing. I like trivia games. We play games at home every night, but I never take the time to do it when I'm on a cruise. I stay too damn busy. Either that or I'm worn out and I got to prop my feet up because my feet and legs blow up like balloons when I'm traveling. So, Chillie and Tom, what has been your best dinner on board? And well, that's a tough one. I'm telling you, Los Lobos, surprisingly, was right up there near the top. I like Cagney's, so the steak was good. I liked La Bistro, which also had a steak there, was really good. I haven't been in the main dining room like usual, but the stuff I've had there was really good. I probably made the wrong choice when we were at the seafood place, but I'm glad I had what I had was excellent. But there were other things on the menu I probably would have enjoyed more. But all in all, Kenneth, the food has been just, I think, superb. the breakfast, the main dining room breakfasts are the same cycle of 3 that all Norwegian ships have. So, I've got my eggs Benedict for 2 days. Or like today, I decided not to do eggs Benedict and just had the regular, eggs and bacon and toast thing. And then I've got my huevos revueltos. What do you call that thing? Anyway, the Spanish Mexican thing I like. It's every 3rd day, which will be tomorrow. Maybe Saturday. I can't remember. But yeah, overall, man, the food's been really, really good, Kenneth. I'd have to try to see the Eiffel Tower. Oh, yeah. If you're in Paris, you're not going to miss it. I can't go upstairs, which is sad. I don't allow that anymore. Oh, and there's another person that says, hello, dear. I always wonder about that when they call me dear. If you're trying to get me to send you money or anything like that, Evelyn, I will say, I'm not a deer. I'm a 75-year-old fat guy that just happens to like to travel in my wheelchair. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. I'm going to go meet Bonnie and get Hot Air Tom off his damn computer so we can go to dinner. And then I'll worry about getting the show processed after we have some dinner. So again, tomorrow's we're in Le Havre, France. And then Friday, we'll have a show as normal with another special guest. I'm going to have Christy Durso back on the show on Friday, and we're going to talk about service dogs and about Leicester in particular. So that'll be an interesting topic. And, me and Christy, when we get together, the Lord only knows where that's going to end up. But anyway, on Friday, we'll be broadcasting from the Holiday Inn Express or the Holiday Inn, one or the other. They got a good signal, so not worried about the for the show. But anyway, same time, same channel on Friday from Southampton in the UK. For those of you that think that's the University of Kentucky, that's England. Just saying, the United Kingdom, technically. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up from here. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully one day soon we'll get together on the high seas, just like Hot Air Tom and Bonnie and Gary Older Than Dirt and Roger are doing on this cruise, and a bunch of other new friends we've made along the way. Living the life. That's what I'm doing. We'll talk to you on Friday. Have a great day, everybody.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.